Hey everyone, it's Sasha from Best Way to Healing. My bad, it's been a very long time since I've talked to everybody. It's been very busy in the practice and I haven't had the time to sit down and finish this off. But here I am, we're gonna finish it off, we're gonna get to it. So I'd like to talk today about the sixth essential, which is thoughts, and how thoughts affect the physiology and body, and how important our thoughts are and how we think to our health. Okay? And I'm going to talk a little bit about really where they come from, which is energy. Now, we are energy beings. We always have, we always will be. We were made from energy and by energy. We developed from energy, and we're run by energy. So mind is energy. And when I say mind, I'm not talking about the brain. The brain is the physical, functional thing that disseminates information throughout the nervous system and all the rest of it. Through the nervous system, that is, to skeletal muscular apparatus. When I say mind, I'm talking about energy. Okay, mind is a process, and this is why science can't pin down mind, the semantics of it. Okay, because sometimes brain and mind and these things get interwoven together, and we don't know what the hell we're talking about after a while. But mind is a process, and it's an energetic process, and it has everything to do with our constitutional health and the function of our body. So mind is energy, and that energy affects and is affected by the energy around it. Let me give you an example, I guess. Have you ever hung around somebody? You get home and maybe you've been around them for the whole day, or maybe they're a coworker or something. You get home and you say to yourself, I don't know why I spend time with this person. They suck my energy. They're an energy vampire, right? I'm sure everybody's had this experience, or vice versa, where you hang around somebody and you feel like they energize you. Okay, quote unquote, energize you. Hopefully it's your partner. Hopefully it's the person you've chosen to spend the rest of your life with. That's a sweet one. So, but I'm sure somebody out there has had one or two, or both of them, or whatever experiences. Let's just kind of clear something up. Energy does not come to you; it comes from you. Okay, and there are caveats in certain situations, and this is quantum, so there's always a caveat to quantum thought and ideology. As soon as you start to look at something, it changes in the quantum world. So, but essentially, energy comes from you, and you always have energy because you are energy. You're made up of energy. Like I said at the beginning, you're an energy being. Okay, so you might, let's say, have a really tough day at work, come home, somebody gives you a call and says, we're going dancing tonight. You love to dance. Well, you're up. All of a sudden, there's something you love to do. And it's the thought process of it, and you get up and you are out the door, even though you've had an exhausting day. And all you wanted to do through that whole day was you were thinking about going home, sitting on the couch, and drinking a beer, which is, I wouldn't recommend that, but sometimes that's one of those things, okay? So, but all of a sudden you get this shot of energy because it comes from you, and you head out and you do your thing for that day. So that's a kind of a good example of energy and how it's generated and where it comes from. And that energy really has a lot to do with thoughts and feelings. And I've talked about this in other podcasts where, how you think affects the energy. And that's related to mass. So, obviously mass is energy, and energy is mass, and there's the correlation between the two. When you feel down, you feel heavy and loaded, and when you get rid of, let's say, those anxious thoughts or angry thoughts or situation that you're within, you feel lighter, and you feel like there's a big weight that's been lifted off your shoulders because energy has mass, and energy are thoughts. And thoughts are things, which is mass. So we know this because Albert Einstein, at some time during the turn of the century, a little bit after, I guess, his famous equation, E equals mc squared. Well, there's that correlation between energy and mass. Now, mental energy, comes from, like I said, thoughts and attitudes. And your thoughts and attitudes come from your beliefs. So just so that you guys understand this, your beliefs in your life create your thoughts, and your thoughts create your attitude. And it goes like this. So if you're the type of person who has garbage beliefs, and then you're going to have garbage thoughts. And your attitude, you're going to be, you're going to be springing up out of a garbage can like Oscar the Grouch, I guess, right? And everything's going to be glass half empty type of scenario, okay? Now, where do we get these beliefs from? Well, we get them from all kinds of places. First of all, we get them from our parents, the time where we were learning the most between, the time we were born and the age of 6. Or even, some people are even saying 4 or even earlier, 2. And those beliefs create our constitution, our actual energetic constitution. And some of this stuff is epigenetic, some of this stuff is nurtural, some of it is, our own situations that we've learned from in life, but most of them are opinions, and most of those opinions aren't factual. They're opinions. So, these are where we get our beliefs from, and subsequently they affect our thoughts, and we sometimes seem to project or color a situation even before it happens with a thought pattern, and that thought pattern then creates our attitude, and then that attitude could be positive, it could be negative, depending on where those beliefs were rooted in and what type of thoughts they were. Okay, so that's very rudimentary ideology of how your thoughts affect who you are. Now, that level of energy that you bring through your beliefs, your attitudes, and your thoughts, create who you are as a human being, energetically as a human being. So let's take Einstein's equation, E equals mc squared, and let's kind of make it our own. Let's make kind of a quasi-equation. We can say it's E equals AT squared. So A is obvious, it would be attitude, T is thoughts, and E is obviously energy. And squared is the power of that energy, or the power of, the power of your thoughts, really, squared. So your thought power, or how much energy you put into that thought and how powerful that thought is, compounds itself. Okay, so essentially the energy level is equal to your thoughts squared and your attitude squared. Now, because we run on energy, essentially our quality of energy affects our body function and our constitution. And we're right back to the beginning again. Okay? If you want to know a little bit more about this, and like I said, I just gave you a very, very rough lesson in it, because it is very difficult to understand sometimes. Of course, you don't necessarily have to understand it. Your body is going to operate in exactly the same way it always has and always ever will, through energy. You don't even have to believe in it, really. It's the same thing. It's just going to operate the way it always has been designed to operate. But if you do want to know more about this stuff, there are a couple books that I would suggest. One is written by Dr. M.T. Morter Jr. It's called Dynamic Health. This is an amazing book. You have to get it online. But he really goes into a lot of health-related issues in regards to the 6 essentials, of course, and bioenergetic synchronization technique, which is what I practice, as well as an amazing book by a guy named Dr. Lipton, and Bruce Lipton, and he wrote this book, The Biology of Belief. This is an incredible book, and this will really kind of explain energy, DNA, and the cellular level at a layman's terms. This is an amazing book. I highly recommend this book, and everybody should really read this book. It's going to open up their eyes and allow people to really start to think about how they think. It's a very difficult thing. How do you correct or change something with the thing that needs correcting. How do you do that? It's about conscious thought. So examine your beliefs. I challenge you to examine your beliefs. I challenge you to examine your attitude and your thoughts and really put conscious effort into changing those things. And believe you me, when you do that and you start to raise those thoughts and make them lofty and raise that attitude and make it lofty, you're going to affect your energy levels and they're going to skyrocket. You're going to have a better quality of life. You're going to feel better. You're going to bring better things to your relationships, to your life, and to everybody around you. Until next time, be well. See ya.